Hello, Tim here, and welcome to another step-by-step description, demonstration of a Venice scene. This is San Giorgio Maggiore, based on one of our members' photographs. Thank you very much, John D, for your source photo. Many more in our source library on Patreon. Yeah, so this is the end painting. Let me take you through step by step how I did this, my particular way of doing it. And those of you on Patreon love to see your efforts if you have a go at this and post it up in our gallery. So let me go to John's photograph first of all, and the all important decision on the composition of the things I might move or change and remove, add, and so on. So we've got, I believe, John, this is an evening shot of San Giorgio Maggiore. And we've got this beautiful golden light on the scene. That's what attracted me to this, the contrast of the light of the bell tower there and the facade of the church, that yellow. I can imagine using lots of bright yellows and oranges with this one. And that contrast against the cooler, darker sky, quite a sort of ominous sky. And then we've got a coolish colour to the water. There's a couple of boats in the scene. There's a distant sort of taxi boat, typical sort of Venice craft there in the distance. It's quite a small dark object. But then there's this cruiser coming in from the right, so I fancy moving that a little bit to the right. And as you can see from my end painting, I move the post around, the mooring post around a bit as well. There's in John's photo, there's this one. Actually, it's quite nice that framing that right hand side, but I decided to not bother with this one here and that one there in the bottom left hand corner, but have this one here leaning a little bit, and then the other two, move them slightly to the right, but connecting. See this one here, that one there, is just sort of, it just sort of touches that background waterline. So I'm gonna connect it, move them up a little bit, connect these two, shove them along to the right, and connect them with the background. Right, let me take you through this up step by step then with the all important drawing first of all. There you can see my composition choices, just an outline drawing of the main scenes. Things to get right in your mind is decision on the horizon, the waterline. Mine's pretty much, well, just below that halfway line, but around that center line there. And then trying to get the position of the bell tower, the campanile, the dome there, the facade of the church, and the position of the boat in relation to the scene. I've made the boat a little bit larger than in the source photo, and I've adjusted the position of the distant black boat as well. There's my post positions you can see going in different directions. Not sure if that'll work. But the main thing is to get that tower looking vertical, symmetrical with the cone, the spiky bit on the top, and then the perspective, a little bit of perspective in the scene down that left-hand side. There's that bright tower on the left. There's a kind of a marina on the left, which I'm not going to show much of that. And then over to the right, the buildings extend over that way. So that's the drawing done. And then the first stage, the first painting stage, is an underlying wash, an initial wash. I'll take you through my colours. The normal colours are neutral tint there, burnt umber, burnt sienna, yellow ochre, spring green, Phrygian green, cobalt green, cerulean blue, cobalt blue, ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, cadmium red, light red, cadmium orange, and cadmium yellow, and then there's the lavender there I've used, as well as a little bit of white gouache in the bottom right-hand corner. But this initial wash going over the whole scene, I started with a very light grey, a coolish grey towards the top, and then quite a watery mix of that yellow and that cadmium orange right down to down to and below the water level, because I want a little bit of that yellow and orange colour in underlying the water. The water I'll be going over 2 or 3 more times, but that's my initial wash there. So yeah, starting with light grey at the top, then just splattering on loads and loads of the yellow and orange, and then that cooler blue down towards the bottom. For the bottom bit, I used a little bit of cobalt blue and a tiny bit of burnt umber for that. So kind of sort of on the coolish side. To me, I thought the sky looked quite warm compared to the water, the sea colour. Trying to get the colour temperature right. So that's the initial wash. Then step 2 or step 3, going in darker with the sky. So this is the last time I'll be painting the sky, and again a mixture of a blue and a brown. I used ultramarine blue and burnt sienna for that sky, going darker in places. And my brush technique with this was sort of stabbing or dabbing with my mop brush the surface, so I get these patterns appearing here in the sky, trying to get the feeling of those clouds over the sky, carefully painting around, a bit of negative painting around all of the architecture, although I did go over the trees there on the left because they're going to be a lot darker, and the trees there over on the right, but down to the architecture and all these spiky bits as well, but carefully around the bell tower. And you can see, like we can still see a little bit of that underlying yellows and oranges down below that initial layer on top of it. It went quite dark there, but completely random in my variation of values and darkness. Right, next step is painting a little bit of the reds of the building. The reds particularly that will be in the light. The light's coming from the right-hand side. It's fairly low in the sky, being evening time. So that's my reds there. That red colour was a little bit of cadmium red and light red, so quite a sort of weak red for the light bits of the building. Then I did my second application of water on a paint on the water. Again, a mixture of down there I used cobalt blue and burnt umber mainly. I tried to keep it fairly light in the distance and then coming a little bit darker down towards the foreground. And also my brush technique here was painting in horizontal layers, starting at the top and then working my way down to the bottom. Doesn't matter if you leave little bits unpainted. We can see here a little bit of the white water spray around the boat, the wake of the boat there, and a few other little patches left unpainted as well that could be made into a little bit of a disturbance in the water. So that is again the sort of second application on the water level. Then next step, going in with the darks. This is where we really start to form the shape of those buildings, and mainly here ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, a little bit of a darker yellow for the left-hand side of the church up there, and a little bit of cadmium orange for that left-hand side of that little tower on the left-hand side. But going quite dark, getting in the trees there. I've got the trees to do on the right-hand side, but again, looking at the source photo, trying to define the shapes of the rooftops, the size of the buildings that are in that shade. Going a little bit cooler, bluer on that left-hand side, and also painting around some of those masts on that left-hand side and defining the boats. I also did a little bit of a darker line with the water line, the water's edge there in the distance, just below the church, and a sort of broken line. It appears light in places. This tower thing here is a little bit closer to us. So that line there is just a little bit below the distant water's edge. Yeah, and just defining a little bit of, with very, very faint lines, almost like a dry brush, the beginnings of the architecture on the facade of the church. So that's going in with those darker shadows. Next step, the boats, those two boats, the distant one, quite easy. Just defining what is going from right to left, and we've got the cabin and then the hull. Little bit of light there, where just at the top of the gunnels of the boat, we've got a bit of light catching it, but quite a simple shape. And then the cruiser coming to us from the right hand side at a sort of jaunty angle. I put one pilot in there, one skipper, and then basically painted around the hood. That's the hood of the cabin, the cover of the cabin. I think that was yellow ochre, and then I used a sort of bluish grey for the rest of the cabin, keeping that the top of the boat there quite light, and painting around the wake there. You can see a bit of a jagged edge where we got the water lapping up against the hull. Next step, now applying more definition to the water and the sort of angular geometric shapes, some rounded shapes, trying to get also different edges, hard edges and soft edges. Can I show this to you? Well, there's like this one here, there's a hard edge at the top there, but then soft edge there. Where else can we see one? Well, a sort of hard edge there, a little bit light there. Oh, I did use a little bit of white gouache at the end, just for some of the lighter, the lighter parts of the water, catching the light coming in from that right-hand side. But take a bit of time over this, you're going over these posts, because these posts are going to be darker in value. So go over those for continuity. So for example, that shape there, going over those two posts. But lots of sort of ripples, those waves, those waves, the wave shapes in the water. In the distance, they are lighter, thinner, narrower, but coming towards us, they're a little bit darker, a little bit thicker in size. And you can see, again, just look at the photo for a bit of inspiration on some of those wave shapes. Maybe get a smaller brush as well. Think about the type of brush head you're going to use to get that shape of these waves. Also there, I've gone a little bit dark there, just below the wake, because that's the reflection of the dark hull. That dark hull, I should have said, that's more like a navy blue. That was my ultramarine blue and neutral tint to get that dark sort of navy blue. That's the water then, and then the posts go in of using a fairly thick opaquish layer of my lavender. I think lavender with burnt sienna gives you a nice sort of old wood colour. These are probably pine trees, I guess, and they're quite weathered, and they've got that sort of greyish brownish look to them, and then also defining a little bit of the granular nature. Some of those lines in the wood as well, a little bit darker on the left hand side. Yeah, so I hope you like that step by step. Let's go back to my end painting. There's my end painting then. And thanks again, John D, for your lovely photo of Venice, San Giorgio Maggiore. And yeah, have a go. Those of you on Patreon, love to see your efforts up there on the gallery. Cheers for now.